Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, The Haunted Sky. I'm R.L. Poole, author of the recent #1 bestseller, Beneath the Haunted Sky, The Evidence for Alien Abduction. So, last week I made an announcement. I had to, I said I was going to make an announcement. I had to retract it. I had to wait. Um, if you remember, you took a poll in the community section if you're a participatory member. Uh, Uh, and so I'd like to encourage more of you to participate if you would. It really helps out. I noticed on most of the questions or whatever I ask, like 7 of you participate, but when I ask what your favorite UFO movie is, like 180 of you have an opinion on that, but you don't seem to want to participate in the rest of the channel. I really wish you would change that and kind of help the channel out. If you want to be subscribed to the channel and you get something out of the channel, please try to give something back. And the way that you give something back is through your participation, through your feedback, through your comments, through your likes, your subscribes, your shares. Those are the kind of things that really help a channel of mine escape the shadow ban realm. Okay? So thank you for keeping that in mind. So anyway, I made an announcement. I was going to, and I had to retract it. The announcement is that if you remember in the poll, I asked if you think that abduction survivors and experiencers should be subjected to hypnotic regression or polygraph tests. And a lot of you had opinions that you wanted to share on the subject, and I wanted to address some of those things today, and I will make the announcement now. I'm going to take a polygraph test. I don't know. I'm working right now. I was going to see about doing it a certain way. And John Edmonds Cosma, CEO and executive producer for Bang Productions TV, let me know that he might want to be involved in this project. Because my idea is this. I want to take a polygraph test, and I want it to be filmed. I want my story, my experience to be filmed. I want this. I want you to be able to follow me on this journey of just a regular abduction experiencer who is really dead set on proving that what I'm saying is true. And not to put too fine a point of it, but shove it right up the asses of all of the skeptics and all of these pseudoscientific so-called experts, these talking heads like Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these people who say, well, I need evidence and this is that. I will go to any length I can to assert my case, because there's one thing you can't get around: Neil deGrasse Tyson, other fakes, the genuine article. And the person staring at you right now from the other side of this screen is the genuine article. I have every kind of evidence that you can possibly collect, and I have it all together in one bundle. But the jewel, the crowning jewel in this little tiara of truth is I'd like to take a polygraph test so that I can show and declare once and for all I am telling the absolute truth about my experiences. And I'd like to document that. And I'd like to bring that to you. And I'd like you to see that journey. And I'd like you to experience it. And then at the end, you get to see what the results are. And I thought that you would be very happy with that. And I know I certainly would be. And as I told John Edmonds Cosma, this is personal for me. It's personal. Because years and years ago, MUFON did a special about this guy who said that he had these experiences, whatever. And the only thing he had to back him up was a bad drawing and a story. Okay? But they gave this guy all this press. They gave him all this attention. And he was going to submit to a polygraph test. And he tells this story and he shows the drawing and they pardon my French, but they jerk you off for like 38 minutes. And then what you find out at the end, he fails the polygraph. He admits he was lying. He was lying about the whole thing. And MUFON published this. They didn't focus on one of the thousands of cases that they could have taken on where people are actually genuinely being honest. They've had actual experiences that they could have been asked about and told the truth, and MUFON could have given those people a polygraph and said, aha, aha, you see, we told you these people aren't crazy. No, they put the crazy guy, the crazy lying guy, on center stage and put that out. And as a person who's an abduction experiencer, that pissed me off to no end. Ah, oh, that made me so mad, because it made all of us look like fools and liars, and I am anything but. So I mean to right the ship in this regard, and I am going to take a polygraph test, and I want you to be there. I want you to be there when I pass the polygraph test, and you can say, that guy's on the level. I don't know about anybody else, but that guy has gone to every extent possible to document these things in the credible way that they are meant to be. That I have exhausted every opportunity to collect evidence, to take pictures, to make drawings, to have physical evidence, to show abduction marks, trace evidence on the ground. You can trace the pictures I've taken in the sky to the shapes on the ground, to the abduction marks on my hands, to my own personal experiences and my own memories and drawings. And, like, it is a complete story. And the little cherry on top of this Abduction Sunday will be when I take and pass that polygraph test right in front of you. So I was thinking about different ways to get this done, and John graciously contacted me right before I was set to make the announcement and said, I'd like to be involved in this. So I said, okay. And so he's on vacation now until tomorrow or day after, I think. And so when he gets back, I'm sure we'll pick up the discussion on that, and we're going to move forward and see what we can do to get that accomplished. Okay? So that's the announcement, is I'm going to take a polygraph because I think I should. I think anybody who's had legitimate experiences and that you can take a polygraph, I know they're expensive and stuff, and I'm going to find the best guy or girl that I can, the very best person who I think has an impeccable reputation and has the correct equipment and knows exactly what to do to give the most credible result. So that way, when that person says, I passed, I passed. And I won't even say fail, because there's literally zero possibility I'm going to fail. There's zero chance I fail the polygraph. I know what happened to me. I have the evidence. I have the memories. I know what happened. People say, well, how do you know it's not your imagination? Am I taking pictures of my fucking imagination in the sky? Am I imagining these stones in my pocket? Am I imagining the marks on my hands? Am I imagining the trace effects? You know what I mean? Like, people just want to be in denial, but I'm through with all that. I'm done with that. I'm done with people just so easily wanting to stick their head in the sand and pretend this isn't happening. Okay? It's not going to be that way anymore. We are taking the truth to people whether they want it or not. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is by doing every incontrovertible method possible in order to bring that to them. Which also leads me to the other thing that I'm getting involved in with Bang Productions Television is we're going to be starting a speaking tour sometime in April, I think, is the earliest that we're going to start doing it. We're going to start around the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area and kind of circle out from there, see how things go. Where it's going to be called the Einstein Who Tour. And I'm going to be I'll be lecturing about science, about the flaws in physics, about how this is a stymie to even some of the biggest names in science being able to understand this phenomenon, because their science is ridiculously wrong and bad. That we think that we're so advanced, when the truth is that we could not be more remedial in our understanding of the physical forces which govern the universe. But the other topic that I wanted to discuss was hypnotic regression. I will not be doing that under any circumstances. And for people who have not been abducted, of course you want me to. I've had like 18, 19 people say you should do that. No, I should not. I know that you're hungry for answers, but they say, oh, well, any information is good. Not true. It depends on the cost. Okay? And this is what I think you have to understand and take into consideration for people like me is that, yeah, I'm an abduction experiencer, but I am an extreme trauma survivor. Do you understand that? That for 40 years I've been subjected to the most extreme forms of trauma that you can possibly stand as a human being. That's why I'm so pleasant. Yeah. That's why I'm so sweet to be around, because I am an extreme trauma survivor. Now, that's just the shit I remember. Okay? I mean, we're going way past ontological shock. All right? I've had beings try to abduct me from the highway by force. I've had these guys inside my head. I have been sexually manipulated by these beings. I've had my DNA. I've had every single human boundary broken. I've been abducted from my bed in the middle of the night. I've had all these things done to me over a period of 4 decades. Now, just the stuff I remember is enough to classify me as an extremely traumatized human being. They seem to go out of their way to, I don't know if they erase your memory or manipulate it somehow so that you don't remember most of what happened. I don't think we're supposed to remember any of it, but my brain doesn't cooperate. And so I do remember probably more than I should, or more than they would maybe want me to. And I think that there's a reason for this. I think is because a lot of these things are even more traumatic. And I have been mercifully spared those things. And I do not want to unlock Pandora's box for the sake of your curiosity. I mean, what more else do we really need to learn? I've told you who they are, what they look like. I've shown you pictures of their craft. I've shown the trace evidence they leave on the ground. I showed you the tokens that they have given me. I have told you what happens and what has happened to me. I'm going to take a polygraph and tell you and prove to you that the things I've said are true. I have written these things in a 200-page book. What more else do you want to know? And why would you want to know that at the expense of possibly unlocking a universe of trauma that I've been mercifully spared? I think if you thought about it that way, you would say, it's okay. You know? Unless you're an extremely cruel person, I think that you would say, you've done enough. You've suffered enough. You've gone through enough. And you don't really need any more trauma. Yeah? So, I believe it's an individual decision. I'm not trying to say that other people shouldn't do it. If they want to do it, fine. But I think you have to be careful what the Chinese say, be careful what you wish for you may get it. And I hope that people know what they are risking when they decide to go through with this hypnotic regression. You may start remembering things that you will wish you could forget, and now you can't. You see, they already did you the favor. Let them do you the favor. Take the favor, is what I say. Me personally, I remember more than probably a lot of people, just because my mind is autistic and generally uncooperative with things like that. But I remember quite a bit. Enough that it certainly satisfies my need to know, which should satisfy yours. The only thing I would like to satisfy is to scientifically try to prove once and for all that everything I've told you is the absolute truth. Zero exaggeration. No manipulation of the truth. No manipulation of the images. No made up fairy tale stuff. This is all absolutely 100% accurate to the best of my ability. And I want you to feel good about supporting me in that. And I want to put that final piece of the jigsaw in with a polygraph test. But I have to tell you, I have no desire for hypnotic regression. There are some things I don't want to know. You understand? And I understand, as much as you might want to know them, I'm sure that you would not like to do it at the expense of potentially traumatizing me even more than what I have been through these experiences. I'd like to see you guys get a lot more involved with the channel. I'd like to see you join the Discord. I'll post links. If you look in the description, channel description, you'll see various links for things that you can become involved with if you'd like to. Our Patreon is over there, and I'd like to say that this video is brought to you by my patrons. And there aren't many of them, but they're carrying the weight, and it would be very nice if you guys would come over and join and help support this channel and support this truth. Support an abduction experiencer and survivor. Support people who are telling the truth, who provide evidence, and who are willing to go to any length to make sure that you know that they're being legitimate with you about what they're saying and about their experiences. How many of us are there? We are special. We are rare. And we need your support. And there's other channels out here who are doing really good work. There was a guy I just saw. I can't remember. It's like Quirk TV or something like that. And this guy's really good. Like, he's like me. He calls it right down the line, and he calls out the Neil deGrasse Tysons and the Michio, these guys who are like, why are they and all this apologetic stuff, these games of semantics, and they say, oh well, there's no evidence. Like, there's so much evidence and so little brain apparently to process them. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys. It's not going to be a long video, not a big diatribe today. Honestly, I'm tired and I'm a little grumpy. So I'm going to cut this one a little bit shorter than I usually do. But I'll be back soon. I won't make you wait 2 weeks for another video. I'll be back soon with some more topics. And we'll explore this topic. And I'd like to hear from you. And this is why your participation is so important. Because I want to know what you want to know. So that way, when I'm making videos, they're about the topics that you would like to hear me discuss. Answering questions that you have, that you say, oh, well, I'm interested in this, or can you talk about that? Or I'd like to hear more about this certain subject. And if 100 and some of you can tell me what your favorite UFO movie is, then you can certainly drop a like on this video. You can certainly participate by making a comment or giving a like or what have you. These things cost you nothing. They take less than a second of your time, and it really helps unshadow ban me, because don't think I'm not. People like Jeff Mara, people like paranormal, the typical skeptic. These guys have actually helped raise me up out of the graveyard of shadow ban. And what's going to get me there, though, is you guys who have joined this channel, supporting it and holding it up and giving me those likes and those comments and things like that. If you head over to Patreon, if you want to support the channel, I can make better, longer videos, better graphics, all those kinds of things. And I'm in the process of redoing the channel right now. I'd like to upgrade this pitiful set that I have here, which is really just a desk with a blackboard behind it. But I'd like to give you something a lot nicer visually to look at, something that's more appropriate for the channel, things like that. So, please, do what's right. Do what's right by me, because I have bared my soul to you folks. I have given you everything that I have on this subject. And believe me, it's valuable, because there aren't too many people out here who are willing to risk what I'm risking. And a lot of people don't have the information that I have. They don't have the evidence that I have. They haven't gone to the lengths that I have. And that deserves support. Thank you for being here. And I hope to see you soon. And I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you think down in the comments about the polygraph. We're going to do, I think it's going to be like a mini documentary style kind of film about the polygraph. We're going to do like some story. We're going to talk about some experiences, stuff that I haven't talked about or written about. Um, and I'm going to also, if you have any suggestions about questions that you'd like me to be asked while I'm on the polygraph, feel free to put that down in the comments because I will consider it and pass it along. Okay. And also, if you'll look up Bang Productions Television, tell John Cosma how much you appreciate his support of my story and my evidence, and that we need this. It's time, right? So let's do it, and let's do it together. I'm R.L. Poole. This is The Haunted Sky, and I'll talk to you soon.